We have a religion of indoctrination, which they call schooling or education, which is really just indoctrination. It really is just nothing other than a heavy religion currently prevailing the earth, to the point where if you don't bring your children to that religion, you will be arrested and your children will be taken away from you and they will be put into a foster home, because the religion says that for your child to be of any value in this society, they have to go to education, schooling. We all know if you have 4 brain cells that are still working, you would be intelligent enough to discover the fact that schooling is largely not intended to make functional human beings, but it's made for a indoctrinational societal conditioning system to make good wage slaves, good consumers, stupid enough to waste their life away with all these stupid games and all the nonsense that is going on in the world, trying to make people famous and trying to be this and that, and in the movies and all the nonsense, but not smart enough to be questioning the current system or the current modus of operandi of our earth and our world system, and who's controlling us and who is in charge and why we're even doing something and what is actually the purpose of life. All these things are certainly not educated in school, learned in school, taught in school, but only some superficial nonsense so we can be good 9-to-5 wage slaves in a consumer society of the industrialist model, let's say. And we're not taught how to build houses. We're barely taught how to cook properly for ourselves to be healthy. We're not taught about raising children or how to have relationships successfully. We get a little bit stupid psychology, some superficial level of psychology, and some nonsense education on food. We're not really taught to cook or farm, and we're certainly not taught how to build our own houses, so we become nice and dependent on the supermarkets and all the builders. So education is a religion so fierce that it indoctrinates people, and it will outcast those who think differently. Now, I speak about a lot of topics. I mean, I literally touch every single topic that anybody could ever bring up in the entire realm of existence, and I'd be able to participate in the conversation. But one thing that I've noticed is that the educated, indoctrinated, scientific humans that are now prevailing on the planet, the religious scientific people, which is basically now everyone, and especially the better educated ones that think they've gone to the universities and they've gone to, all these higher forms of education, are the worst, generally, there's exceptions, the worst people to have any discussion with or any conversation with, because I don't even like having discussions. I have a conversation. It's an investigation. It's a deepening out. It's a profounding. It's trying to find more truth in whatever the subject is about. Try to bring it to the core, the essence, the reality of what I'm speaking about and what we're speaking about. Well, my experience in my entire lifetime, especially when I was younger, is that the materialists, the educated, the indoctrinated religionists, the religion of what I would call the religion of scientific materialism and education, this conglomerate of religious stupidity, these people who are stuck in that realm of the irrational mind, the thinking mind, the scientific mind, the indoctrinated level of an inability to think for themselves or think outside the box, are generally some of the hardest impenetrable people to speak to. They are literally obnoxious. They don't have any intent to find the truth. They're therefore extremely religious, and they will basically say that if you think outside of the box, if you are able to come and reflect with ideas and principles and real depth to sketch out something from a different angle, they will basically say that whatever you're coming with is not worthy of being discussed because the way it's presented is not scientific, or it doesn't fit their model, and they basically put you out in a corner of being something whacked out, dumb, stupid, and crazy, and get over there and shut the fuck up, right? This is what these intellectual people usually do. They come with their totally empty, indoctrinated levels, which have been shoveled down into their mind, into their intellect, indoctrinated into their religious point, and they say, hey, I'm sorry, the model that you're describing does not fit my religion, doesn't fit my scientific model, doesn't fit my educated university stupidity, right? And so you don't have a right to argue. It's actually an invalid argument that you make because it doesn't fit the profile of thinking that I am indoctrinated into. The profile and the mannerism or the methodology by which you're supposed to handle is this way, the way I've been taught by science and intellectual materialism. And since you're not using that, you're totally straying off and looking at things from such a perspective that I will consider you invalid. You see, that's what intellectual people do. That's what well-learned people do. That's what the higher educated people do. That's what scientifically materialistic people do, because it's a religion. And the religion makes everybody else an outcast. You do not get the right to speak because you're dumb. You're stupid, you see? You're a moron. You think in ways that is not scientifically validated by our system. You don't get to talk about anything because you're using parameters that are not valid to, of course, their religious model. So, education is an extremely, not profound, but prolific and manifested and dominant, and definitely in our current era, religion. Scientific and intellectualism is a religion of momentous proportion, of immense grandeur. It's a super highly level of religion. It doesn't consider quantum resting. It doesn't consider meditation. It doesn't consider being empty and silent and still. It doesn't consider anything other than the mentalization and the processing through this mind thinking level, the conscious mind level. It barely even acknowledges the subconscious, let alone the unconscious. It basically says there's only this, and this is where it's going to come from, and otherwise it's invalid. Religion, extreme religion. I mean, we're talking fanaticism. You know how people think there's fanatic Muslim groups and stuff? Well, there's very few fanatic Muslim groups compared to this scientific, current, disastrous, dominant, ruthless, and disgracefully ignorant, rude religion that's going on the planet right now, which basically says you're a wacko, you're a psycho, you're crazy when you talk like the people that you talk like, and we don't consider your points valid, you're an idiot, we only listen to the ones who have our parameters by which we say things are valid and true, and otherwise you're an outcast. Religion, extreme religionism, or whatever you call it, extremists, right? So don't just see this as a social obstacle, because for those who are, let's say, more out of the box, thinking more freely, looking into the universe from other perspectives of consciousness and of different interdimensional type of levels and dimensions and all these things, you're usually very quiet when you come amongst this kind of people. You really have to draw back and, so you just basically give up before you even start, because you know the consequences of them ganging up on you. If there's 4 or 5 of them in their indoctrination of religious bullshit, then they're going to gang up on you and say, look, right? Am I right? This guy is totally whacked out. I mean, you can't even say things like that if you don't have proof, or you can't show me, or all this kind of stuff, And then they come together, of course, and through the ganging up, they look at each other and they're, yeah, you're right, right? Am I right? Yeah, we're right, because we're the majority, you see? We're the populace. We're the masses. And of course, the masses is very simple, he who has the power rules, to the barrel of a gun. Basically, that's what they do through rude, dominant, short-sighted, cutting you off ways of psychology, which is what extremists do. Close-minded extremists who say, I do not accept anything other than the methodology that my religion currently implements, and what you're saying is not that. So shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down because you're a wacko. You're crazy. Get the fuck out of here. Right? And so we end up basically usually not even having conversations with our own family members or people at these kinds of levels about more profound levels of existence and dimensions and possibilities. And we basically draw back into our own secluded recluse type of lifestyle and talk only to the people that are willing to open up a little bit more and are a little bit wider and open to different ideas. And so it's a more lonely or alone lifestyle, because you know that the prevailing religion is the dominant one, and 95%, let's say, of the world is fiercely indoctrinated in these systems. And so basically I read this quote a while ago. It said, being awake is not a blessing. It's not great. In fact, it means you have to dumb down your conversations 95 or 99% of the day to 95% of everybody that you run into. So being awake is not some kind of blessing or great or happy thing. It usually means having to dumb down your conversations to a level of indoctrination, cultural and societal stupidity norms of the idiocracy that we live in. Religions, they're everywhere. We're in the middle of all these religions. Not just these things that we call religions, because everything is right now a religion. Money is religion. Medical world is a religion. Schooling is a religion. Sports, these sports and soccer, football and all these things are religions. Our entire societal structure is a religion. To have kings and queens and political system is a religion. It's a religion. Statism, it's a religion. To even think that you're a person is a religion. Time is a religion. It's religions. We're bombarded. We're literally living in one religion after another. It's one big conglomerate of multiple religions. Or you could call it social, random, stupid programming, or software programming, or conditioning, or delusional software programming conditioning, whatever you want to call it. But the point is, there are nothing but religions. Every day you walk around, you're looking at religions. You walk into the supermarket, there's poison everywhere. It's a religion. It's being served and nobody sees it because it's the current religion. All the grains, all the sugars, it's a religion. There is nothing but religions on our planet, because we're living in a matrix of complete false software download layers of programming that do not make sense if you investigate them, that do not have any coherent structure to them, that do not have any real basis on them, that if you investigate the structures of our societies, our food, our water, our schooling systems, our educational system, our money systems, our political systems, if you investigate them, you'll find that they're totally based on falsehoods, on arbitrary, made-up fantasies. That's religion. When they're made up on fantasies, but everybody's falling like it's some kind of code of reality. That is religion. To define religion, it means nothing other than bullshit believed to be true. Nonsense believed to be true. Crazy, delusional ideas believed to be fact. True, real. It's not real. Nothing here is real, because this is not our world. We come from the world of being. And this existence, nothing is true. And it never will be. Or everything here is true, because it happens. But it doesn't have any reality or purpose or truth or righteousness. There's no right or wrong in it. There's just it happening, stuff happening. But there's nothing that's true here, because it's not of the world of truth or truth, right? It's not of the world of truth. This existence is not in the world of reality. It's a world apart, a world down from our own world. So beware, you're living in a world built completely on religions.